What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Can we get the overlay on for a post-match fan show? Tottenham have been beaten by 1-0 in an embarrassing performance. And in what I feel the excuses are well and truly running out for Ange Postecoglou and this project, it does seem like we are coming towards some sort of conclusion. And it's hard to take. It really is hard to take as someone that's backed him all the way. These performances are starting to get unexcusable, to be honest.
Untenable. The way we're playing is just too easy. Too easy to play against. The players, it seems as though we need to be at 100% intensity. And if we're not, then we see performances like tonight where, let's be honest, the result flattered Bournemouth. There's no denying that. Just like against Fulham. And it's happening too often over the last couple of months. And it's very, very worrying. If you're Ange Postecoglou, you'll be concerned about how you turn this around at the moment, because he seems to be trying different things, changing it. He changed it up a bit just to freshen it up tonight and didn't help anything. We're still really struggling to stop these transitions, especially that last half an hour. I mean, that was just diabolical, to be honest. The changes he made really negatively impacted the team, and we dropped off a cliff once he made changes. And it was the same against Fulham. It was the same against Galatasaray. It was the same against Palace. Second half against Brighton.
Luton.
Not Luton, Ipswich, you mean?
Ipswich, yeah.
Ipswich was a bit different just because they only had 2 chances that whole game. But I would say at the moment, it's hard to see how he's turning it around, because however he changes it, the same things at the moment seem to be happening. And it's hard to take, especially when you see how good we can be when we are at our best. And we have had some big wins and we have played really well at times. But the last few games and the last few weeks, it's dropped off a cliff. When you take into account that, plus how we ended last season, which was the performances were very similar to the end of last season, which you'd hope we would see the back of, but we haven't seen the back of. It clearly to see. And we were bullied. We were weak. It was just it was a weak performance from this team. Really weak. They weren't showing for the ball. They were allowing themselves to be bullied. We weren't asking questions of Bournemouth enough anyway. We had a little spell in the second half, but apart from that, we didn't deserve anything from this game. And we've got tough games coming up as well. And when you're putting in performance like that, you can see, I mean, that's why you see fans at the moment, a lot of them, especially the ones at the ground, are very toxic.
Yeah, the worst thing about it is, like, when people like me and you are speaking like this, people that have backed Ange so heavily up until this moment, things are going wrong. Things are going really wrong. But anyway, this ain't our chance to have our say. This is you guys' chance to have your say, and I want to know your opinions. Link is in the community section to call in for all silver members or above. And first up, we have the star of the Pump Up Show, Kate. Kate, how you doing?
Not too bad. I would say about as good as you can be after watching that, but I don't even feel as good as that, to be fair. I literally feel heartbrokenly devastated. That's the only way I can describe it, because like you, I've tried everything to see the positive in this guy. I've backed him. I've given all the reasons why we shouldn't sack him, because we're proof that sacking a manager every time something goes a bit wrong doesn't work. But how many times do we have to watch a performance like that? This isn't an isolated incident. And it was just abysmal. Literally one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what? I've been saying consistently, and I was even saying it in midweek. I was saying it on a stream with Sava and Ariane. I was saying, how can we keep this revolving door going? Sacking, hiring. But I mean, I can't make excuses for that anymore. Like, it's just getting worse and worse, isn't it?
That's the thing. It looks like we're actually going backwards. There wasn't a single good performance on there. There's also questions got to be asked about why Maddison is the only one on there that looked like he could make something happen, and yet Ange takes him off. I found that a little bit strange. We got out-muscled on every area of the pitch, you know, and at the end of the game, Ange Postecoglou wants to go up and have a go at away fans who have travelled for hours to go and watch that in the pouring rain. That's never a good look. And again, that's not an isolated incident, because there was a tete-a-tete with him and a fan going through the tunnel before. And all these things, you know, they don't look very good.
You're wrong there.
What's Jimbo saying? What's Jimbo saying?
Jimbo's calling you out. Jimbo's calling you out.
And they were calling him a fat C-U-N-T. So what's he meant to do? But he went over to Clapham.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did. I watched the video.
Yeah, so have I. But it looked like he was calling them out.
No, he wasn't calling them out.
See, Jimbo still could stick up for him a little bit.
I think Jimbo's right. He went to Clapham, but he definitely responded to something that was said.
Yeah.
They called him a fat C-U-N-T.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jim, as a manager, you've got to rise above that. There's players, there's fans that have travelled there for hours to go and watch that. You know, if you get a bit of abuse, so what? Grow a thicker skin. Your team has just played absolute dog crap. Just sit back and take it. I'd be calling him all sorts of things if I was there.
He said on the fan things, he said, the issue with the fans, he's in his press conference, he said, I've got no issue with it. I didn't like what was being said because I'm a human being, but you've got to cop it. I've been around long enough to know that if things don't go well, you've got to understand the frustration and the disappointment. They're right to be disappointed tonight because we've let a game of football get away from us, and that's okay. I'm okay with all of that. I'm thinking he's talking about the fans. I don't think the fact that we let a game get away from us. But, yeah, that's his response to the fan incident. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, like I say, the players get it all the time. And if a player goes over and gives it large, then they're going to get in trouble as well. You know, I don't know what he expects. You can't always blame the manager for everything, but he sets that team up. He set the tactics up. He makes the in-game changes. It was abysmal again. He's going to get some abuse. Just grow a thicker skin. You know,
he always reverts to this 4-4-2 when we're losing and we're looking to chase the game in the last, lockings of a game. He did it again today, and each time we seem to look a lot worse whenever he goes to it. So, and he puts Son in the 10 again, which never seems to work. So, how much blame do you give him when that keeps happening?
I just don't think he's learning. I don't think he's learning. We played against Man City and we won, which we all thought, wow, he's adapted, he's moved forward, he's learning, but he clearly isn't. And for me, I'm done. I can't watch my team play like that. We've got a team that are very talented, full of really good players. And to watch us play like that, we just got completely outsmarted, outplayed by Bournemouth when we should be. I know they're a good side this year. I mean, I tipped us to lose on the pre-match pump-up. But it's the way we lose. There's no fight there. We should have lost 5-6-0, and maybe then all these people that are defending Ange tonight, maybe then we'd be having a different conversation if it was 5 or 6-0. That result massively flattered Tottenham.
Yeah,
massively.
It did. If you're on the board on the hierarchy tonight, are you having serious conversations, and do you think Ange Postecoglou will be here on Sunday?
In a word, I kind of hope not, but at the same time, the other option is Ryan Mason. So it's kind of like, where do we go from here? I'm not sure, but I think serious questions have got to be asked. I mean, Chelsea are going to have a field day on Sunday if we play like that. It will be embarrassing because they're firing on all cylinders. But I think before we actually pull the trigger, we need to kind of have something in place. We can't just have it hovering where Ryan Mason's there and everyone's turning us down left, right and centre, because this job's rapidly becoming a poison chalice. So I just don't know what the answer is. I'm at my wit's end.
We can all sit here and talk about Ange Postecoglou and his tactics and the way we're playing at the moment, but do the players take any culpability for today?
100%, and I think they do against Fulham as well. They look tired, and we're only week 15, 14, whatever it is, and they look tired already. But I just think, from what I saw tonight, I don't think those players were playing for him. And I've said it before, and then it looked like it turned. I just don't think they buy into this system. And, the likes of Van der Ven, he's obviously got weak hamstrings. He's had trouble before he came to Spurs. He's suffering for the system. And
Well, Davis
don't
picked
know,
up a
it just-
hamstring as well today, so maybe that's something to do with what Ange's asked him to do. All these muscle and hamstring injuries.
You know, I like Ange. I wanted nothing more than for him to succeed. But at the end of the day, how many times do we have to watch it before we say, you know what, it's not working?
Yeah, I kind of do feel like I'm on the same page as you, and I've never wanted to get to this stage, and
Nor
I've
me.
never been at this stage because I really like Ange, like you say. I really like Ange, and I hate this whole revolving door, sacking managers, hiring managers, sacking managers, and I just wanted so much just to see through a project, but I just don't see the end. I just don't see the end where this project is going.
Well, no, even if we saw a slight progression, you'd be going, well, look, yeah, it's tough, it's going to be hard, but at least we can see this, that, and the other. But now I think we look like we're going backwards. So what do? We can't just keep sticking with him because we don't want to sack another manager, because we could end up in a really difficult position. If we get battered at the weekend, we're slipping down that table quickly.
Yeah.
So,
Kate, thanks for coming on.
sorry, Jen.
Tough day
It
day at
was.
work today.
It was, but yeah, enjoy your evening as best you can. We tried to pump everyone up, and now we've deflated them all. What can we say?
You tried to pump everyone up by predicting a loss, I hear.
Well, yeah, but everyone else predicted a win, so that was all right.
You got everyone pumped up but the players, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cheers,
care,
Kate.
Jen.
Good to speak to you.
Cheers.
You too.
All right. From one legend to the next, and he's actually got his army.
He's ready for war.
He's ready for war, Mr. Brian Daigle. Daigle, that was an absolutely embarrassing display today. Losing 1-0 to Bournemouth, 10th in the league now, dropping like a fly. How are you feeling, and what's your reaction to that?
Listen, I just want to start by saying I remember coming on and speaking to you two guys after we lost 6-1 to Newcastle. And obviously we were all very, very down. We were all very pissed off. We were all disillusioned. Where have we gone from then? After this performance, everything is up in the air with this football club. These players, like I've said, when the going gets tough, the weak go hiding.
Yeah.
When they cross that white line, the very, very least they should do is fight for that badge. Have some professional pride. Have determination. Have the fight, the commitment, and the dedication to put in a shift for this football club. Their body language is shambolic. There is no desire. There's just nothing. And you see Bournemouth running around. And before we go any further, well done, bloody Bournemouth. They were magnificent tonight and absolutely schooled us. We have moved to this big stadium to pay the bigger wages, to buy the elite players, to get outclassed, outbullied, outfought by a team whose stadium can fit into our South Stand.
Let's be real, Brian. Tamworth would have bullied us and taught us a lesson if we would have played like that against them.
Yep, mate. When Spurs did that wonderful rebranding where we took the name Tottenham Hotspur away and we changed the fonts and the lineups, I think for the last year and a half, 2 years, whatever, we've rebranded the word experience for leadership. We don't have a leadership team. We have an experienced team. I remember back in the 90s seeing players like Colin Calderwood, Steve Sedgley, Paul Allen, Gary Mabbott, Teddy Sheriff, people that would fight for this badge. That if we were playing shit, would go, do you know what? This is unacceptable. We are Tottenham Hotspur. The least we do is put in a shift. They don't care. They do not care one bit. They pick up their 100 grand or whatever. And don't get me wrong, Ben, as you know, and Sim, I am very, 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 very defensive of the manager and have always backed them. But was that entertaining? Should we roll the dice and be entertained?
Brian, I think all three of us have been, consistently backing this manager from the very beginning up until, till now, pretty much. Are you still backing this manager? I know you said you'd never turn on a manager and everything like that, but it's getting increasingly hard to back, isn't it?
Listen, it's getting, when you look at it, Jed Spence is not good enough for this football team. We've had 3 managers, or 2 full-time managers, 2 part-time managers that don't pick him. What's that telling you? They don't trust him. They don't have faith in him. Club purchase. But what we'll do is we'll play a right back. We'll play Archie Gray, who we were told was a centre midfielder. We'll put him at right back because we don't trust the right back that we gave a new contract to. We didn't sign midfielders because we were told Gray and Bergvall, we've been impressed with their progress and what they can offer. We don't do it. Because we needed to give Son a rest, we put Brennan Johnson, who has always been woeful on the left, but let's put him on the left rather than Werner, who could play on the left, so Kulusevski could go right, even though Kulusevski has been brilliant in the centre. The team is weak and threadbare. We just it's literally like pick a mix. Okay, we'll play you there and play you there. Even though I signed you to play here, I don't trust the player that's here. I'll put you there. We are a mess from top to bottom. And we have become, and I'm going to say this, and I don't care who I offend on this, we have become a fan base that wants to bitch and moan and get one up on each other, whether it be in chats on social media, channels on social media, whether it be across the board, in the pubs, whatever. This fan base care about more going, ha, you're in the mud. Hate that saying. Give him his flowers. I told you this would happen. This is wrong. I'm right. I'm a bigger fan. I'm a better fan. Where are you living? The international fans, because they're international and I am an international fan now, go, oh, you're American or you're Australian or you're Korean. What do you know? We have become a fan base that wants to bitch and moan at each other and prove each other right more than care about what is going on that football pitch. On that football pitch, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll lose. And just so Spurs social media team know this, we come back stronger. We won't. We'll do better. You don't. We apologise. Fuck off with these. But it's all bullshit. This club is a media circus, a PR machine, a money-making machine, and it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. This club is rancid. I love this club, or I love my football club. I love it, but we are not a football club. We are an entertainment business with a property portfolio that now has football as a side hustle. That's what we've become.
Where do you see it heading at the moment with Ange in terms of, you said you're a big fan of him, you're defensive of him, but where do you think this leads at the moment, if you were to predict?
Mate, it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good. But the thing is, what happens is we'll get rid of this one, and the next one will come on the conveyor belt. And then the fans that want Ange out, and listen, everyone who's saying Ange out right now, you're well within your right. I stand where I stand with this Potsy owner, I understand where people are coming from on the manager. Totally get it. But all that happened, the next manager will come in, he's not good enough, he's only managed here or there. And then we've got the players that Ange wanted in your Archie Grays and everything. Do we get another attacking manager or do we get a defensive manager because we never keep to a philosophy? And then it's like, right, do we have too many players that won't play in the right position? It's just, mate, I think I've spoken to Ben. I said I think before the transfer window closes, Ange is gone. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be, fortunately, whatever side of the fence you're on, I think it's sooner. I think we take a Tonkin against Chelsea. That could be it. I think we go out to Manchester United, the Carabao Cup. That could be it. But I think, unfortunately, and you can see like what you were saying, Sim, with I don't know what I'm pointing over there. The fans aren't there. The away game, the away fans in the sections, it's turning toxic. And
what do you think about that clip? What do you think about that clip, Ange and the fans?
I actually haven't. I'm going to sit on the fence here and do an Arsene Wenger. I actually haven't seen it. I heard you two talking about it. but I think the writing's on the wall. But people need to wake up. This football club is in disarray again. We moved to this stadium, this game-changing stadium, so we could compete. The season ticket prices that people pay have gone up. The merchandise has gone up. The food and beverage in the stadium has gone up. The senior concessions trying to abolish, history being erased. But the one important thing, the quality of player and the wage bill has gone down. Everything goes up. I'm sure, Leave, you'll get a bonus very shortly. He's due one. Everything around this stadium has gone up for the fan, the match-going fan, or the fans that travel around the world to support this great club, but the wage bill has gone down. Game-changing.
Last question, Brian. If it was up to you and you were sitting on that hierarchy, would you be sacking Ange Postecoglou?
Oh, no, if I was on that hierarchy, I'd be having a word with the very big man at the top.
Yeah,
and
let's forget about that for a second. Let's just focus on the manager.
I don't know. Listen, what I will say, I'm not going to give my answer to that, but I will give my answer to what you're saying. Your number one is Areola. My number one is my number one before Postecoglou came in, and that's Thomas Frank.
Okay. Brian, always a pleasure. Unfortunately, under these circumstances, and it becomes way too often at this football club. But have a good evening, my friend, and try and relax.
See you later. Bye-bye.
That was Brian Daigle, everyone. Truth bombs as always. Got a few super chats to get onto, and then we'll get on to our next guest. Guy Fawkes says needing to be perfect to win is not a good thing. I think we know it's not a good thing. Michael Hellman says Ange out and Donny in. The Cherries are laughing. They sold Solanke for 65 million. Come on, you Spurs. DJ Samuel says Levy out. Michael Hellman says where is Scott Munn? And Andrew Sabash says, big up, Brian. Brutally honest. Love you in the tough times, as always. Big up to you, Andrew, and big up to Brian Daigle. Let's go on to our next guest. Not sure why he's calling in here, because Emerson ain't playing for this club anymore. But here he is. Here's Barry. How you doing, Barry?
He'll still get the blame, though, Ben. It's his fault we lost, no?
Talk to me, Barry. What happened today, man?
Look, I think, obviously Brian pretty much summed it up. And I think, I just seen both of your faces and your reactions just towards the end of the Max reaction kind of says it all. We've regressed. We've not improved. We've spent 300 million on players that, well, like Brian said, quite frankly, don't look like they want to play for this football club. We've got a vice captain that keeps getting subbed off, whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing, I don't know. He's not playing well. Romero's more interested, even in the birth of his child, he's more interested in Argentina playing football. Sonny just looks like he's lost. Like he's so ineffective and at the moment, but he just does enough. Sonny just does enough. Ange is just doing enough. And that's the problem. Sonny goes and gets a couple of goals. We win a game. Everyone forgets it. But Son has not been the Son of before. We've seen it. Probably the last 18 months, Son hasn't been the same. The system doesn't fit the way that he plays. There's no leaders on the pitch. There's just no fight. There's no desire. We've seen this before, right? We've seen it when we go up against a team that likes to get stuck in, that likes to bully us, that the players just go missing. And
what's it down to? What's it down to?
Well, we can say it's down to their mentality. We can say it down. It's this football club. I swear, in this new stadium, there's like a Indian burial ground underneath it with voodoo and all this nonsense that's going on, because we never. Just when you think it's things are turning, the tide's turning. I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd go and put 200 quid on us beating Chelsea at the weekend, because that's the type of things that would happen, right? I just cannot put. We've seen this so many times. We've seen it. I said it on the video for Marlon. Unfortunately, we know how this is going to end. And I just look, that result, like we've all said, it flattered us. 1-0. Bournemouth should have probably won 5 or 6-0. If they had won 5 or 6-0, then probably Angie's gone tonight. If we play that way against Chelsea on Sunday, we're all laughing at Chelsea, 1 billion down the drain. Jackson scoring, getting a hat trick the last time we played when our season fell apart. Is kind of history repeating itself, not just with the Chelsea game, but with Tottenham Hotspur and this manager merry-go-round, the way that we're playing, the way that we're performing, the way that we're letting people down. I mean, Bournemouth away, away games don't travel well with me, obviously, but
been banned, Barry.
Four away wins in 2024.
Yeah,
4 away wins. We're going to Rangers, next Thursday. That's not going to be easy. Then we got Southampton away. Southampton haven't won all season. Oh, look who they're playing. They're playing us. So what's going to happen.
Another Dr. Tottenham. That's the last thing we need.
It's happened with Ipswich. It's happened with Leicester. It's happened with
actually Southampton have won a game, Barry. They did. They beat Everton. So.
Southampton away was Conte's last game.
Oh God, here we go.
Isn't it just mad how this is all falling into place? Chelsea game, it could fall into place. Southampton, it could fall into place. This football club is. I
think it's just Emerson's infected this club. I think we can't seem to get rid of it.
I'll tell you what, Sim, Emerson will be putting in more of a shift than some of these players are at the moment, mate.
You're probably right about that.
Do you reckon after the Southampton game, Ange Postecoglou does a Conte style press conference?
Be something to see.
This club.
I don't know, Ben. Look, I've seen the video. I've seen what he's done with the fans. The fans have the right to voice their opinion. They've paid their money. They've travelled down, like Kate said, on a horrible evening. They travel, like you guys do, all over the country, and to be served that up, it's well and truly embarrassing. There's just you can't defend it, right? When it's great, and look. I've said I don't want Ange to go, but now, we all get to that point, right? We all get to that point where we have to say, I can't really sit here and defend this anymore.
You think it's untenable?
Look, you've seen the boos. You've seen the, Fulham again. We were unlucky to not lose that game. Looking at the games.
But Barry, if he does stay in a job and then we do go and beat Chelsea on the weekend, then what?
He's just doing enough. He's just doing enough. He's just doing enough. That's what I mean, Ben. It's just enough. We go and beat Chelsea, and then, look, we've got where's the next win coming from? Realistically, Southampton away. Are we really putting our hopes on the team that's getting absolutely pumped and has got 4 or 5 points or whatever at the bottom of the table? Wolves at home. Okay, that should be a win, but we've seen Wolves at home.
Wolves is the last game in December, mate. We're not winning
mate,
till then.
Forest away. Come on. Liverpool at home. Man United at home in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals. Rangers away. Chelsea at home. And by the way, it doesn't get any better in January. Our probably easiest game in January is Tamworth away. And even that, if we play like that tonight, we're not going to beat them.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. So, do you think he should be sacked tonight? Are you genuinely thinking he's saying he should be sacked tonight?
I don't think he's going to. Well, I don't think he's going to be sacked tonight.
Are you Ange out? Is what Ben's saying. Are you Ange out?
Yeah, I can't. I can't. It's going to be awkward, right? If I go turning up at Hotspur Way next Tuesday and Andy's still there. Oh, Barry, I saw you on WeAreTottenhamTV saying you're Ange out. But he might not even be there by Tuesday. The whole thing might get cancelled if things progress quite quickly. Look, I can't.
Who would you replace him with? Who'd you replace him with?
I don't think it matters, Sim. I think Ben said it. You said it.
So why sack him then?
Huh?
So why sack him if it doesn't matter?
because that's what we do. It's what we do, mate.
It's who we are, mate.
It's who we are,
Who we
mate.
are. Who we are. No,
Well.
doesn't matter. Ryan, you could give it to bloody Doris the tea lady, and it wouldn't make a difference. There's no fight. Look. I think there's clearly something going on in the dressing room. I think the players don't look like they're playing for him. Obviously, all these things behind the scene with Madders and others and falling outs and everything else. But look, I think the key thing is Bentancur's ban. That's probably accelerated him in terms of him losing his job, because obviously Bentancur was playing really well. We obviously had that rotation. Basuma and Sarlacc absolutely done. Basuma is on 4 yellow cards. Sim, you were correct. He's not on 5. So as
He's not
always,
suspended.
Sim's
But
correct.
if he gets booked against Chelsea, then he's
Of course, he's
suspended.
going to get booked against Chelsea. Come on. The Chelsea, look what happened last season. Chelsea know exactly what to do, wind the players up. We lose our heads, and then they just pick us off. So
And
he's gonna get booked against
also
Chelsea.
another issue we have. Ben Davis is going to be out for a while, and it doesn't sound like, from what Ange is saying, he was asked in his press conference, will the injury to Ben Davis and the fact that Romero and Van der Ven are also out mean you'll dip into the market in January? He said, it ain't going to help. He said, mate, it ain't going to help us against Chelsea on Sunday, and that's all I'm thinking about. So
I don't think he thinks he's going to have a January transfer window.
maybe. But
Well, what do we do then? So who are we going to play in defence? Because Romero,
Van der Ven might be
can
back.
come back.
Van der Ven might be back. Romero might be back, but we'll see. If
But if
not,
they're
it's
not-
Archie Gray.
So then we do what? And then Mickey does his hamstring again. This is like Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day all over again. Mickey does his hamstring. Romero comes back, gets sent off. Someone. This is what I mean. What are we doing here? This is just history repeating itself. And then in midfield, who are you going to play? You're going to play Simon Basuma again, and then they're going to get absolutely torn apart. Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, and Cuckoo, all of these scrubs at Chelsea that we're all mocking, are absolutely licking their lips, thinking, "Christ, I'm going to get what do I get as a bonus for scoring a hat trick?" It could be. What's the record score? 9-1, 9-0. I mean, that could go on Sunday.
Yeah, well, it should have happened today, but we just got lucky that Bournemouth didn't have their shooting boots on. But look, Barry, thank you for coming on today, mate. It's been a long time since you've been on the fan show. You only come in the big occasions, don't you, Barry? Big time, Barry.
Big time, Barry. Well, look, boys, let's see what happens. I don't think Ange's walking away. He's not walking away from 9 million. So look, it's going to be another manager that we sack, have to pay compensation. But who wants this job? Gareth Southgate, maybe. I mean, that's what I mean. We sack him. Who's coming in? People saying Thomas Frank. Why would you leave Brentford? We missed out on Slot. We missed out on Amorim, and we're going to go and get Ryan Mason. And that's what we've got to look forward to. So,
May as well bring Emerson in as manager.
Well, we'll have some good times. I don't know. It won't be on the football pitch, but at least we'll enjoy ourselves, right? Anyway, 3-0 at the weekend. Ben, clean sheet for Emerson. Just don't forget. Just never forget. Careful what you wish for.
And he's still doing his TikTok dances as well.
Well, I think he's still got Vinny Jr. and Mbappe in his pocket from the other week. So, what can you say?
Big up, Barry. We'll speak to you
All
soon,
right, guys. See you later.
Cheers, mate.
cheers, Barry.
All right. Let's keep going, I guess. We've got a super chat here from Hugful Anime Piano saying, Mason in. It was fun football and fun times. Let's go. You ready for Mason?
No,
You're not ready?
not yet.
All right, let's keep going, guys. It's Aaron up next. Yes, Aaron, how you doing, mate? I think you're...
There we go.
No, he's very-
There we go. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, going through the motions, to be honest, mate. I mean, really hard one to take today as a guy who's been, back in Ange. I mean, I've been losing belief over the last couple of weeks, but I've still been of the thinking, we just can't keep hiring and firing and hiring and firing and hiring and firing. But where are you at with it all?
Yeah, so this is the first time I've come on. I've watched you guys now for 2-3 years. Always been kind of back in the shadows, didn't want to voice my opinion. But I think the breaking point for me was I haven't had a belief in a manager until Postecoglou. I feel like I never really believed in Conte. I never really believed in Mourinho. I always thought they were just negative with their personality, with their approach to football in general. And I was telling the guys here, I asked them if they ever seen Ted Lasso. So I just felt like there was kind of a Ted Lasso kind of vibe when Postecoglou came in. There was just this, it was just going to happen. And I don't know how it was going to happen, but maybe the 10 first games kind of influenced things a bit. But I really believed. And I think today was kind of the breaking point for me where I don't know if I want him out right now, but I know that, pushing the fullbacks that high is just not working. The press is just disjointed way too often. And our wingers, Sonny, he's getting up there. I don't know what's working for him. Obviously, Timo Werner is hot garbage, and Johnson is maybe. We'll see. But I don't know. I just think there's too many things that are going wrong at this point to where a change will be needed. But like everyone's been saying, I don't know. I don't know who could come in at this point and really revolutionize how we play and turn things around.
Is it worth our while sacking a manager mid-season and then trying to salvage the season, or is it more worth just trying to press through this difficult period and hope he turns it around?
It's hard to say. I mean, you can persist, but I think the reason why persisting might be a mistake is that he's unwilling to change. And if it's going to be the same errors over and over and over again, I don't see how it gets better. Because I think with Pochettino, you saw that he would tweak things, he would change things, he was adaptable to some degree.
Back three system, didn't he? And he had different
systems. He would change things up from time to time, and even mid-game, he would change how we played. And I think that's why it's going to take a change sooner rather than later in terms of a manager. So I just don't see him changing. He's never changed in his career, and why would he? Why would he change now just because things aren't going particularly well at this time?
Yeah, do you look at the players and particularly that last half an hour and, a lot of moments in the last 6 games and feel the players are really losing belief in what he's trying to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like I'm just watching, I feel bad for the people that watch Tottenham because I am just screaming at the TV, run for that 50-50, die for that ball. The amount of just walking all over the place. I'm like, just try. Because I'm watching Bournemouth, I'm watching Fulham. They're sprinting to every ball. They're giving their heart for everything. And it just seems like at least 80% of our players just couldn't give a F. I know Kulu's trying. I know Ben Davies and Dragosin are trying, but there's people like just watching Udogie kind of just let people breeze past him. I don't know how many times I have to watch Brendan Johnson have a ball up in the air and he just watches it. He doesn't go for it. Doesn't go for the header. It's just things like that where the other team is going to give everything for that chance, for that ball, for that 50-50. And oftentimes a lot of our guys just don't seem to care.
It's really hard to take, Aaron. It's really hard to take. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I was just going to ask him if there was to be a change, what would that change be for you? Who would come in?
Pochettino doesn't really want that America job, does he? We're not that good. A change.
We can convince him?
God, I mean, that'd be nice. I don't really know. I don't keep track of the available managers across Europe, so I don't really know who's available. But yeah, I mean, some of the names that were mentioned, Thomas Frank would be interesting. But again, I don't think a lot of these guys would leave their clubs for what we have to offer. Because, if you're watching the track record of our managers, why would you want to join right now? So I think it's going to take someone like Postecoglou that looked at us as a challenge and wanted to accept it. But I don't know. I don't know who would really want to give this a go right now.
Such is the life of a Tottenham Hotspur fan, Aaron. I want to thank you for coming on. And yeah, do come on again. Obviously, you've been watching for a long time and your first time caller. So it's great to have you on the show, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate. All right. Next up is Sava. Let's bring on Sava. And I'm sure he's got a bit of mudding to do right here, right now. Terrible, terrible, embarrassing display today, Sava. We heard your opinions in the build-up to the game in the week about the manager and your opinions on the manager. Do you feel like you've been vindicated after that performance?
Well, look, first of all, thanks for messaging me and asking me to come on for 5-10 minutes. Look, I don't think it's about vindication. I'm waiting for more and more people to actually open their eyes and realise this is, we came on the other day and we had the debate about how this is going in the right direction and a project and a process and I just don't know what people are watching. It's been terrible for a year. It's been terrible for a year, sprinkled with some good wins, lads. And I tried to have this conversation with you guys the other day. That's now 18 defeats in a year. That's 18 defeats, 18 wins and 6 draws. We've won 4 away games in 12 months. We've lost 8 of our last 12. In that time, we've scored 80 goals, conceded something like, I think it was 71 or 72. It's just, I just don't know what we are. I'm not even angry, guys. It's not an I told you so. He's still the manager, but I keep being told that it's a project and you guys are going to see it through and you're going to be wrong in the end and you're negative, Sava. You're the worst fan in the world. You're glass half empty. But what is it that I'm actually meant to be looking at that is making me go, hang on, I might be wrong here. This guy is a good manager. We've gone away to Bournemouth and there was so much of our talent out on the pitch tonight. Tonight, you've seen Maddison, Kulu, Solanke, Son, Werner, Johnson, Basuma, Sarr, Porro, Adoge. You've seen a lot of what is considered to be our first 11 out on that pitch. And Bournemouth should have beaten us about 6-0 because we are so wide open from these terrible, terrible tactics with no one in midfield, inverted fullbacks. Again, Semenyo, Ouattara and Tavernier. I think it's not Tavernier, as Barry told me off earlier. And Tavernier, they had so much space and time in behind. And guys, he's not changing it. I keep being told he's going to sort it out. He's going to adapt. And then the guy, sorry, I'm going to rant now. Then this manager, I'll say it, the guy's a fraud. He is absolutely stealing a living at this football club. After saying the other week that we don't want to control games, we want them to be wide open and to entertain. Tonight his excuse is that we don't control games well enough. Well, no shit, Sherlock. This is your tactics. This is what you do. And guys, I just don't know. I'll be honest. I'm very much looking forward to this guy leaving the football club. I think he's been atrocious. He's living off those first 10 games. And since then, our form, we are now down to 11th. In the last 12 months, we're down to 11th in the form table. That is disgustingly bad. I don't know what he's done to make loads of, like Sim, I know me and you massively disagree on this. I don't know what he has done to make anyone look at this and say, that's a project I want to get behind. I don't know what the project is. The results are crap. We've won 1 in 6. Everyone's having 20-plus shots against us. He's not for me, I'm afraid, guys. I'm not throwing my toys. I've said this for a year. He is not for me.
Look, after the performance, you've reeled off a lot of facts there, and there's no denying all of that is absolutely true. There's no denying the circumstances that he's come into the club have not been good, and there's no denying that it has always going to take some sort of hardship to go through. Should it have been this hard? Probably not. Should we be in this place in the league after, in the second year. We're now 14 games into the season and we're 10th, and we've lost 6 games in 14. Is that good enough? I think it's fair to say no, but there's still a lot of people, right, which I'll represent, that still are Ange in, I should say, or sure. Don't believe that we should sack Ange, and that'll be on the basis of how good we can be when we are at our best and the level we can reach when we are playing well, right? And that is something that maybe we haven't seen, that level, that when we are playing well and how good we can be when we are playing well, that level we probably haven't seen since Pochettino. Yeah, I think it's fair to say.
Can I ask what that's based off, Sim?
When we win big games, when we have big wins.
Yeah, but winning big games every now and then isn't an indicator of the team you actually are. That's an indicator of winning big games.
Isn't that an indicator of how good you can be?
Yeah, but not every game. No one's that good every game. So, like, the Man City result was an anomaly. It's not the norm. And the problem is, when you look at a football team, you take them for what they are on their norm, right? And our norm is so hit and miss that when people are saying it's what we could be, it's what we could become, but the problem is all of the facts and evidence are showing that we've got worse since he's joined this football club. All the facts and evidence are showing us that, Sim. So my question to you guys is, and by the way, Sim, I'm not here to tell you or any Tottenham fan they should be Ange out. Just because I don't rate him, you guys think what you want, right? That's not my agenda here. But how long do we keep going along with these awful, awful results over a long period of time before we turn around and go, this social experiment has failed? How long does it go for? 6 months? Another year? What do we do?
Well, depending, where we finish in the season, we're still in all the cups. Obviously, at the moment, the league is still incredibly tight. We're at 3 points off, I think, 5th it is. So, as much as in terms of performance-wise, the last couple of months has definitely been a massive decline, and you add into the fact last season, after the first 10 games, the form there wasn't good as well, and we gave him, I think, a lot of the Tottenham fan base gave him a lot of grace to overcome that. We ended up finishing 5th, but the form hasn't been good. But we did finish 5th. You can't just discount that. And then the league season this season has not started well after 14 games. We're, as you say, 6 losses. We're 10th in the league, and the performances do seem to be getting worse. But do you just, when you see how good we can be, do you throw that all away because at the moment it's not going the right direction, or do you just give him the time to hopefully try and get us back to that level and try and find some sort of way to the levels where you see us winning, where we win those, where we have these big wins, right? That's the level we can reach.
Very pure, but Sim, this is the problem. They're not the norm. Listen, like, you could do this for all clubs throughout the season, right? I mean, like, take Bournemouth tonight. They've beaten Man City, Arsenal, and Spurs at home. Their fans aren't going to be turning around and going, this is what we should be doing every single game. They get themselves up for big games. They put in good performances, and then they go and lose some silly games, right? But the problem that I have with this is, how long does this go? I keep saying this, Sim. We've had managers that have been sacked for doing a lot better than this, right? But they've been sacked for being a lot better than what this guy is delivering right now, right? Everyone was telling me Solanke is this amazing player. Now, all of a sudden, he didn't want Solanke. Everyone was telling me that Kulu and Maddison and Porro and Adogi and Sarr and Bentancur and blah, blah, all of these players are amazing. If they're amazing, then why have we got such, I would say average form, but our form over 12 months is 11th, Sim. 11th.
Yeah. I mean,
so what's he improved at the football club? What has he done at the football club?
I mean, in my personal opinion, I feel like I said to you in the show that we did, I wanted to stick with Ange, but I'm questioning him more than I've ever questioned him before. I think after that performance, particularly at that last half an hour, showing the clear players' lack of fight for this manager, I think it's becoming very quickly untenable. The manager now, Ange Postecoglou, and I think he's probably one game away now from the sack. I can't see how this lasts past Christmas.
Well, Ben, let me ask you a question, right? again, it's yet another game where we've had a terrible first half, and you're thinking, what are you going to do at half time? Same 11 goes out, same tactics. And you're thinking, okay, first 10, 15 minutes, I think, we had the ball. You would expect that we're going to have the ball. But again, small pitch, crowded, didn't have any ideas how to break them down. But the worrying thing, more than not being able to score tonight, Ben, was how many times did we have to give that ball away in midfield and they have a counter-attack, 2-on-2, 2-on-1? How many times do we have to do that before Ange goes, stop? Right, I want 3 men in that midfield. I want the 2 fullbacks to drop. He doesn't change anything. And Bournemouth should have scored 5, 6, 7. How many chances did they have? That's my problem. If you change things, do you know what? Like, look, for example, when Jose was here, all right, different set of players, not as good, blah, blah, blah. At least you would say he tried 3-5-2. He tried 3-4-3.
Well, he went to 4-4-2. He went to 4-4-2 in the last half. And I'm not saying it went well. I'm just saying he did change it.
But the problem is that whenever he does, if he does change things every so often, but even when he does, it goes from bad to worse. That's the problem. I think whenever he changes a system or anything, no, he never does that. He never does that.
And that's the thing, Ben. If you're going to change formation, you change formations to make yourself harder to beat and more solid. Yeah. This guy leaves us so
But isn't that what we criticise Conte for, like that? He went gung-ho. He went gung-ho in the last 20 minutes, and we paid the price for it. But when you're chasing a game, you don't change it to make us more solid. You change it to try and get back in the game, don't you?
I mean, Conte was like one end of the spectrum. Ange Postecoglou's the complete other end. Like, why can't we just have something in between?
No, that's fair. But
there you go. Ben, see, your team Sava, Ben. That is what all I've asked for, mate.
I'm not Team Sava. I'm Team Ben, my friend. I'm Team Tottenham.
No, you're Team Sava. Listen, there's better people than me waiting to come on. I'm gonna jump. Thanks for having me. Look, at the end of the day, as I said, it's just football. Levy will pull the trigger when the points total gets so far away from top 4 that Champions League money starts to come a bit further away from Daniel Levy. And if we lose at the weekend, that's going to be 9 points off of top 4. 9 points.
Sava, just one quick question before
you 5th of this one, because a 5th is a good chance, I'd say, of top.
One quick question before you go. The amount of managers that we've burnt, right, under this tenureship of Daniel Levy, does it even matter?
Yeah.
Does it even matter who our manager is? Do you feel? Because I'm starting to feel like. I mean, I felt that out for a long time, to be honest.
Yeah, look, I mean, if we were going to do the Levy conversation, we could be here for 24 hours. Look, I'll say what I've always said, because people get me wrong. I don't believe that any manager's going to come in here and challenge for titles. I don't. I'm not asking any manager to come in here and do what Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City do. I'm not. But what I am asking for is just a little bit of consistency. Just make us an organised unit. And, I look at the teams above us in the league, and I'm not saying they'll all finish above us, but I watch Fulham. They look like an organised unit with lesser players, right? Forest, lesser players than us, but again, they make themselves harder to beat. Fulham, Forest, Bournemouth are there now as well. Like, we shouldn't be behind some of these teams. And unfortunately, as you said, Ben, you've gone from Conte to Ange, and I think we need a manager in the middle that is very much like, hang on, I understand the need to defend and the need to go forward, rather than, aren't we brilliant, we're just gung-ho. And that's only my opinion. If I'm wrong at the end of the season, I told you the other day, but the problem is the more and more games we play, guys, I'm not wrong. He is showing it time and time again, and the fans in the stadium, the fans in the stand are turning, as I'm sure you've seen all the videos.
Yeah. Sava, always a pleasure. Oh, go on. Carry on.
No, thank you. That was it.
All right.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to speak to you, mate.
Cheers.
Speak to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, Sava, all right. How many people we got left, Vin? 3. Is who's next? KPV. You all right, KPV?
Not really, man. Like, where do I even begin, man? Like, we're not good enough. Like, what is wrong with this club, man? Like, I said it a year ago, we lose 6-1 to Newcastle, and I got that right. And yeah, Brian even said it, I got that right. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but we're going to lose 5-1 to Chelsea, mate. Like, Sammy heard it in the background. We're going to lose, man. And I just hope I'm wrong, but unfortunately, we can't seem to beat them. We only beat them last year when we had Stellini and Conte, not last season, but February last year, not this one. Last year we did skip Thunderbolt, but that's not going to happen now. We're going to lose on Sunday, and just gone. Like it happened with Nuno. We couldn't beat United, we had no shot on target, and he was gone. Conte comes in, and then the next season he goes gonko after Southampton, and that was like the players. They don't know how to win, and we haven't won nothing since
Carl,
2008.
the connection's really poor. Do you mind logging out and coming back in? We can't. It's hard to hear and see you. Let's let Carl sign out, and we'll get someone else, and then he can come back. Let's get the Joracle. Is Jory in?
Yeah, the Joracle's there. Jory, how you doing, mate?
Not too good. Not too good. How about you guys?
Yeah, you and me both, mate. It just seems like Groundhog Day at Tottenham all over again. We keep finding ourselves in these situations, no matter who the manager is. I'm starting to feel like this is towards the end of the Ange Postecoglou reign. I really do. I mean, after that last half an hour, it was just embarrassing what we were showing on that pitch. Lack of desire, lack of intent, lack of aggression, lack of trying. Where are you at with the manager?
Well, it's almost like with all these managers, it's almost like there's some common thread, something, in the background that might be causing.
I wonder what
these...
that may be, Jory.
Yeah, I have no clue, Ben. I have no clue. Yeah, I think. I mean, the good news is that the Christmas is the season of miracles. So let's hope that we get some miracles in because it's going to take a miracle for Ange to stay in the job beyond Christmas, I think.
Well, is the miracle that you're talking about? Apparently Pep Guardiola's on his last legs as well,
Yeah, well, I'll take a punt on Pep. No problem, It would be in perfect tradition if Pep came here and didn't do anything as well. That would be. We would still have Levy in us, even if that happened. But anyway, no. I think to be honest, I think it's down to. I mean, I think he could get fired after the Chelsea game.
Do you think that'd be the right thing to do?
No, I mean. The right thing, just in terms of the right thing, that decision was made a long time ago. Of course, first and foremost is it the right manager, and that we've tried a few different versions of that. But then after that is am I supporting his project or his vision to the fullest? And this club, you have to say no every time. And I would say, even though Ange is probably the closest to what the board can work with, and the institution in general can work with, I don't think. Well, I think it's a combination. I think what the so-called Ange Bowl, it does work, but it just doesn't work when you come up against the best in the world at what they do, because these small teams, I've said it before, these so-called small teams in the Premier League, they are world-class at their particular brand of football. And what we're struggling with, and I'm sure, Sim, you love your stats, I'm sure you've looked into this. What's really the problem with the Ange system or what is in terms of goal scoring, we score a lot of goals, but the distribution of those goals is very inconsistent. So we score a lot of goals in one game and no goals in another game, and so on, and defensively, midfield, and so on. It's been progressing in my view, and I had, it's maybe also the show for everybody to go and like Brian was on about the fan base being I told you so fan base, and look, I was right and all of that. I was probably one of the first regulars to be very doubtful of Ants. But then when I saw tweaks and differences, and we got the double eights and all kinds of stuff, that was what I was concerned about at the moment, at that moment. But now I think we're looking at a squad that is running against the wall, and for them, they think it's a matter of fact that this kind of tactics don't work. And every game we've looked really good lately has all been fast break transitional football, and that's not what Ants really is about. And if you take the possession stats of our club and our squad and kind of overlay them with the XG, I'm sure you will see a lowering XG. You see a lowering XG curve and a climbing possession curve. There is, unless you're Man City or maybe Liverpool in good years, and maybe Chelsea as well in good years, you don't get joy from high possession in the Premier League. You need to catch them out. And if you're on the ball the whole time, you are not setting any traps for them to go into. And that's what we're running. That's what we ran into tonight. That's when our game is the most stale. And that's also when we get these turnovers, which end in a counter-attacking goal. So, yeah, it's not. I mean, I would say
I can just, Jory, I'm just doing a quick check. I can tell you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6 games with our highest possession this season, we've lost 4 of them.
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 games with our lowest possession, we've won 4 of them.
Yeah.
So
that's my and
tells you.
that's yeah, and that like this has I didn't even look into it, but like just this was my gut feeling about it, and this is where maybe because I've been a patsy Spurs fan through the years. I was a big Spurs fan when I was a kid, and then I had a off period, came back into it just before Potts got sacked, and so I've always thought this club, one of the things that I've been the most proud about in my club is the way that we can, like nobody else, really rip teams apart, the best teams in the world apart, by playing some of the best transitional football in the world. I think that's just as much Tottenham DNA as fancy dribbling or whatever other people think, and also in terms of the whole entertaining narrative, I really can't stand it, to be honest. No winning club, no winning fan base looks at entertainment as a primary goal. It's a great.
So wait, but you say that, but so do us fans need to take responsibility for that in terms of that narrative? Because as I said, Conte, when he was sacked, he was 4th, at the time. So results-wise, it wasn't the best, but we weren't happy with what he was giving us on the pitch.
No.
When you say that, do you think the fans have to take responsibility for that kind of narrative?
I definitely think so, and this is what I've always felt is like. The fans that are, if you want to give it a negative name, the happy clappers and the Levy inners and the manager and all of that, the fans that go the hardest in that direction and put blinders on and are just like they become like cult-like state of mind, and they go the hardest in getting the manager out. Once they lose the belief that the anger and the disappointment is so great that there's no stopping it. And like for me also in general, guys, I don't think it matters that much. It matters a little bit of what the sentiment in the fan base is, but we're in the season where Levy prefers to fire his managers. when he still has a chance, when he still has the hope that he can bring somebody in and still manage to get Champions League spot. That's his number one priority. So either he's going to do it in the next couple of weeks, or he's going to stick with him till the summer, I think.
I can't see him lasting till the summer. I really just can't see it.
No, I mean, of course, disasters would stop that, but I think we will know if, let's say, he sticks with him till January, and then I think the January window will also tell us a lot about what direction Postecoglou is. He just going to be there till the summer, or are we actually progressing with this project? To be honest, I think Levy and his soldiers are on the phone tonight, starting to line up candidates and having something ready at the first moment. Which I'm not a follower, but even though, like, I definitely agree with a lot what Sava's been saying, for example. But I've seen that for a long time as well. But also what I understand is that what Ants is trying to do is going to go through a period of really, really crap football for sure, especially with so young a squad. But the problem with when you're like, I don't know what the money or the realities are in other leagues, but when you're in the Premier League, and when you're consider yourself a top 6 club, you need to keep pace. You need to be in and around it, and if you don't do that, you won't have a future. And definitely Levy has proven that more than anybody in this league. So I don't think I really don't think he has much of a margin to work with at this moment in time. I'm sure a lot of fans will almost forget everything if we batter Chelsea, for example. But if Chelsea batter us, I have a hard time even seeing him surviving that night. So yeah. And like, there's so many banana skins coming up, by the way. Liverpool, even Nottingham Forest and stuff like that. We could even be more worried about like a Nottingham Forest or even a Wolves at home, because these are the games where it all goes completely wrong. Whereas a Liverpool game, everybody will be switched on to the max. But I'm not putting it on Ants. It's the culture, it's the squad mentality for sure, and it's the board, most culpable of all, in my view. And I don't mean by any specifics, but just this general thing that we're always dealing with in the club. It's also just a general phenomenon happening in the Premier League, which is this commoditization of the sport, which means that other things than what we care about are the priority of running the clubs, and we're front runners in that way. We can't ignore the fact that the actual truth is that we're the most winning club in the Premier League. Winning in what really matters for the people that run our club, which is growing revenue, growing fan base, growing income streams, and so on. We are winning that game by miles, So how come we're winning that and not doing anything on the field? Well, that has to have something to do with priorities for sure. I'm at the opinion now that Ants probably, it was a good experience, and I would love for it to continue if there's any possibility to do that, because there's no point in like you guys talked about, there's no point in changing managers. There's not going to be a different outcome, and I have my ideas of what kind of football I would love to see us play, and so on. By the way, I don't know why people are talking about Thomas Frank. I really rate Thomas Frank. He's a great manager, but he is all about defensive, pragmatic. He's so not about what supposed the Tottenham supposed DNA is
The
about.
guy in the other dugout, the other guy in the other dugout is a perfect candidate in my opinion.
Yeah, he's good for sure. I also think Silva is good.
Marco
But
Silva, I agree.
yeah, but I would say just in terms of the football, I know we can't. I mean, he doesn't speak English and stuff like that. But and I don't think he would ever work with Tottenham. But in terms of the football, I would love to get something that would be in the ilk of Gasparini at Atalanta. You know, a guy that's been parenting young players for forever and been playing in the most defensive league in the world and playing front foot football against them to great success. I think that could be kind of a recipe for what we should be doing, because what you need to do, the question is it really a viable thinking? Is it viable thinking that we're going to outplay, that we can build something that's going to be better front foot football than Man City and Liverpool, which are the teams that you need to beat to win this league, by the way. So I don't think that's a viable strategy in general, But I gave it a shot. Maybe this guy has some tricks up his sleeve. I think we're all out of tricks when it comes to that. And yeah, I don't know. I think Ants is also a little bit just struggling himself. He was talking the other day about how the 4-0 win at Man City. He said, I could have been pragmatic, but would we have the City game with the 4-0 win? And for me, that game was amazing. It's a historic game for sure. But that's the opposite of everything Ants has been saying, in my view. You don't take that as an achievement or to prove anything. That should just be, just a regular day in the office for Ants, So, so I think I took that as like Ants is also kind of feeling the boat is sinking a little bit, I think he's losing people around him pretty quickly, unfortunately, because he's done good things in the club already. I think that we're gonna see the benefit of that with the next manager and beyond, probably. So, yeah.
Jory, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for calling
Likewise,
in today.
guys.
And we'll see you soon, my friend. Speak to you soon.
Yeah. Keep your heads up, guys. Come on,
You too,
Spurs.
mate. Come on, you Spurs. Big up to the Joracle. We got a super chat here from David B saying, take 4, 5, 6 of any team's best 11 out and they'll be poor too. Hate to bring it up, of course, but Arteta's second season, people wanted him out. Now look.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, people always going to bring that up. I'm just always saying that the reason I bring up our big wins, as much as we can't do it consistently, is that's the benchmark of how good we can be, and we were never going to be able to do that consistently for a whole season at this point under Ange Postecoglou. Now, should we be as bad as we have been over the past few weeks or couple months, then the narrative is you couple that with the fact that how we ended last season, all of a sudden the narrative fits that this is going nowhere. But if you stick in your mind how good we can be when we win, and you build towards getting to that a place where we can do that consistently, and that is what people would want to see, and that's what people hope for. Now you can question where we'll ever get there, and maybe we're beating a dead horse. Maybe we'll never get that consistency under this manager, and we should just pack it in as soon as possible. But are we better off trying to find that or just going with something new? And that's what fans have to decide.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just like when you look at a lot of moments over the past 6 games, it's just too hard to watch. Getting battered, absolutely battered. And that last half an hour just looked like a clear lack of belief from the players. It really did. And I don't know if he's lost the dressing room or not, but it looks like it is going that way. I know it didn't look like that against Man City because obviously we battered them. But like I said before, I feel like the players themselves just get themselves up for these kind of games.
And that's, as I say, and again, that's how good we can be. That was my point. We can't seem to get to that level consistently, and it seems as though if we're not at that level, we don't win, and that's also a problem. We can't seem to play a level below that and get wins over the line. It seems like either we're playing amazing and we're winning 3-4-0, or we don't win, or we lose even, essentially, or we deserve to lose like Fulham. And
do you think we should stick with him?
For now, yeah, I don't see the point in sacking him now. I don't see the point. Yeah, I would stick with him. I wouldn't sack him now.
What would your breaking point be?
Once we're out all the cups, if the season's gone, look, for me, if we sack a manager now, I think the season's gone anyway. So I might as well stick with him. If we're out all the cups, like let's say come like March time, we're out all the cups and we're 10 points away or whatever plus away from top 5. Because, fifth could be Champions League. It's a good. I know last season it didn't happen, but Opta says there's like a over 90% chance.
That's what they said last year.
It is, but I think the English teams are going to be better in Europe this year. I've got a feeling. So, if let's say that happens, which I think there's a good chance that will happen, that fifth will be Champions League. I think it's more likely than not. Put it that way. I guess you could still aim for top 5. Whether you're happy with top 5 is another question. But I'm guessing if before the season, if someone offered you top 5 in a trophy, I think you'd probably take it. So I don't think I would sack him now. No. Obviously, if we go on a massive losing streak between now and December, we lose every game. Then I think you probably do have to, just because that can't continue.
What about just if we get battered on Sunday?
No,
Like
even
battered?
then I wouldn't.
Not even battered.
No.
Wow. Well, if we get battered to them and then go lose to Rangers.
No.
Battered to them, go lose.
Well,
to
what are you
Rangers.
talking about? Like what? As in a performance like today?
Yeah.
But it's only 1-0.
Yeah.
But no.
I can't be seeing more performances like that, because performances like that tells me that the players are not playing for the manager. And if the players are not playing for the manager, then what is the point in carrying on with him?
Don't know. Well, if that's the case, then look, I'm sure the hierarchy or whatever are in. They have these conversations. I'm sure it's not a closed shop. Like if there's really lost the dressing room, I'm sure the board will know about it.
All right. Is there anyone else? No. All right. That is it. We've got a very fun, exciting day in the studio tomorrow where we're going to have to delve even deeper into what happened on the pitch today. Yeah, looking forward to it, mate. Looking forward to it. I hope you all come and join us tomorrow. Should be going live at some point in the middle of the day, so come and join us for that. But thank you for everyone for sticking around until past midnight, people. So very hard day, very hard one to take today. Let's hope for better days. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.